I'm hoping we got some of those camera issues solved now.
I didn't know. I'm still drinking.
We had a big discussion on Huigan, the lingering sweetness that's left in your mouth. And Danielle actually discovered that when she drinks her water, she notices it more, and the water tastes sweet to her.
Right.
We were talking about why that might happen, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm imagining it's something like with vision and the after image you see after staring at something. So when the sensory neurons get excited, they're basically looking at changes in light, changes in wavelength and things. But you'll see the inverse because they've been firing one way, and then when it drops, it's correcting, so you're seeing the inverse of that. So I'm guessing because of the strong bitterness, once you have an absence of it, then it appears to you as sweetness.
And you're right, there's a real, like, a whiskey or something thing where, like, there's a bitterness to the taste, but you mellow into it and like it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then left on your tongue is kind of like a sweetness.
It's fun.
It's a bourbon. It's a bourbon aftertaste.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what I would compare it most to, is tasting like whiskey or something like that.
I know some of the teas you've had, too, have been smoky, too. So that's
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, this
Definitely.
is not super smoky though compared to some
scotches
other ones
or something,
Yeah.
No, this is more green.
Yeah.
This is more Pinot Grigio. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this like, how's this tea with caffeine? Like,
Hi.
because I'm thinking, like, I would like to drink this at night,
Right, I like to
it
drink
is
them at
more of
night
like
too. I do
After
find
dinner drink.
it does have caffeine. I find Sheng Pu'er tends to help calm me down. It does give you some energy too, but the levels of theanine are high enough where it doesn't excite you so much or get you jittery. This tea, not as much as other Shengs, just because this is fairly bud heavy. And buds have more caffeine. The younger leaves have more caffeine. It's a defense mechanism. So this one probably slightly more than other Shengs or larger leaf Shengs or Huang Pian or something, yellow leaf large Sheng. But I find generally as a type of tea, although it can create energetic feelings, it also helps me sleep at least. I'd be interested in your experiences too.
I like thinking of that defense mechanism because I can only imagine the animal eats it and then is like wired. It's like, no more of that plant.
It's not making my.
What else would it be?
I know
like immediate.
I know it has a bitter taste. I don't know exactly why it what it defends it from. I don't remember.
That's very interesting.
Still a very quick infusion. Didn't last more than
And the color
10
is
seconds,
changing,
getting
too.
darker. Yeah, I'm imagining that'll kind of come through on the video.
It's a beautiful day today.
It's
Oh my god, it's so nice.
Gorgeous.
Like about time,
Outside.
right?
So I'm coming back later for wine drinking.
Works for me.
Cheers, Abby.
Got plenty of that.
Ooh. It goes up significantly every time of the flavor.
Yeah, every time. Like,
Yeah, and more minerality too in the mouthfeel.
Yes.
It gets thicker and
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Like now it's getting a little smokier. Like now I feel like it up a little higher.
The minerality, I don't know. Is it like magnesium kind of flavor?
There is magnesium, yeah.
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
one of the highest.
I've heard a lot of.
I don't know my elements by taste.
No, there's
Friends drinking a lot of beer.
there's actually a good amount of magnesium in
Mike
tea.
just likes rocks.
It's like kind of a Guinnessy flavor. Yeah.
Which has the most. Doesn't it have the most vitamins and
Magnesium,
minerals of
yeah,
all the
yeah,
beers?
yeah.
It's Guinness.
I guess
That's why it's healthier.
Is it from the water?
I have no
When you
idea.
go to the Guinness factory, they're like,
It's
it
the
comes
water.
down from this river on
Oh,
this mountain
interesting.
or whatever.
It has one of the highest concentrations
We're
of,
not endorsing
of
Guinness.
tea. Magnesium is one of the highest concentrations of minerals in tea.
But send us Guinness. if you want.
The
Yeah.
color and the scent for me it kind of balanced out, but the flavor is completely
Just different,
Yeah.
And I definitely think it gets a little smokier
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you smell your cup too. It still smells so
Yep.
syrupy,
Different, yeah.
like.
And that water is sweet.
And the water's sweet, right?
Yeah, right. I'm trying to think of like cultures that value bitterness. Like I remember going to like the Coca-Cola factory where they like you taste Coke from the world, and the Italian
Oh,
so
yeah.
the Italian
Oh, so
Coca-Cola is like
bitter.
Well,
Yeah,
one
clear
of the-
one.
Or
Yeah.
like, I know when we were in Japan, they were like,
they do appreciate the bitterness in their
bitterness,
tea for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they would like Sheng Pu'er.
which I like bitter teas as well. But this is like a whole different
No.
kind.
Yeah.
Not bad, but different
yeah, it's not
kind.
this.
Yeah.
It's not the bitter of like I left my tea bag in for so long that my tea doesn't taste right
Yeah,
anymore.
it's just
And it's not the bitter of hoppy beer either. It's a
No.
It's a
it's on
plant
its own.
bitterness.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of want to try. I have like a concentrated pu'er, like an instant pu'er.
Like
What?
powder.
Like powder?
It's like a resin almost.
Oh.
Maybe not just that, but I do want to try making a stronger infusion of pu'er and making a latte out of it. Because I'm
Interesting.
wondering if you can get
Pu'er
similar
latte.
Oh yeah, I can
bittersweet
see that.
flavors like coffee
I can see
lattes.
Yeah.
Um,
Some creaminess there.
I'm interested in trying it. Because I definitely feel like the milk could bring out a lot of sweetness in
That
teas
would be
like this.
very interesting to
I think it'd be good.
Scott, do you usually put milk in your tea at any point? Or do
No.
you ever put milk in your tea?
No, I never put
Never
milk in
put
my
milk.
tea.
I only put milk in matcha.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. I do make matcha lattes. I've
as far
grown
as, like-
quite fond of matcha lattes, and actually, I get matcha specifically made for lattes directly from a tea farmer in Wazuka, Japan. We could talk about Wazuka another day, but it's beautiful and it's the most pristine growing region in Japan.
So say I'm like the at-home person. I'm interested in this tea. Do I have to like buy all of this stuff to make it? Basically, this kind of tea. It's always like this ceremonial kind of situation. Or is there like another way to brew it?
You'll probably need some kind of small teapot. The most cost-effective way to get into this is using something like a gaiwan. I sell these for less than $40.
And that's for 1 to 2 people?
Yeah, for 1 to 2 people. You can get larger gaiwans. I have 150 gaiwan I use a lot. Milliliter gaiwan I use a lot. And you would... Gaiwans are fun. I love gaiwans. It's what I mostly use to brew with. You let it steep and then you just shift the lid a little bit. You hold it with your fingers like this, and you just... The liquid comes out. I'll do a video on the gaiwans too. You don't need any filters or any. You don't need you really just need a gaiwan and a place to drink your tea out of. And teacups are cheap. You can find teacups anywhere really.
What do you think?
This one was like a slug to me.
A slug?
Yeah. like a shot of scotch, kind of.
Oh, not
yeah.
the
I was
animal.
like,
No. like it's kind of going to my head a little bit.
Oh, I was gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah.
explain yourself,
like
because
this,
I understand.
This one went to my head. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
it went
it
up
came
a
up through
little.
my. You heard me cough a little bit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's another interesting concept with tea that's most
That's
notable
so weird.
with pu'er, and that's qi or qi is how we spell it. Qi. This is the energy in the tea, and not really talking about caffeine, just like the different feelings that you can get from tea and all the psychoactive chemicals that are in it.
And just like making it more of a body experience.
Yeah, I mean, I am starting to feel something from that infusion as well. Just an energy kind of through the body, up into the head a little bit,
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
in my shoulders a little bit too,
in the V area.
Yeah.
Not to make the video too edgy, but we were reading about like thousands of years ago, like the origin of people drinking these teas and being like tea drunk.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of like at the same time that people were discovering other ways to alter their state of being.
So
Interesting.
tea actually originates from the same region of the world as marijuana. A lot of psychoactive
Huh,
plants
I did
in
not
that
know
in that
that.
region.
So just people trying to make themselves feel different with plants.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And tea went one path.
Marijuana one another.
Marijuana
Then
one
we
another.
had beer. And then we had wine over here.
Yeah, but I don't know. Tea makes you feel great. Though.
Yeah.
So how many infusions can you get out of this chunk of leaves, chunk of where? Like how many times can you brew it?
It'll depend on how strong you brew each infusion, how long you brew it for. I would say
Like
You
is
know,
this something you could use all
generally
day? Or?
generally around 10 to 15 infusions.
Oh, okay.
Quite a few.
So how many like 10 to 15 infusion sessions is your whole cake?
The whole
I know
cake?
that's hard to say because we're brewing for 4 people right now instead of 1. You
Right.
know, like
So
Right,
I
Like
mean,
to,
If
like,
you bought a cake, how long would it last you? Kind
so
of?
I mean, if you're
That's-
only
yeah.
if you're only using 5 gram portions in a smaller vessel, you know, something like this, around 75 milliliters, using 5 grams, you'd get what 40 sessions out of that with the cake.
10 to 15 times over
So
those
basically,
40
you're having
sessions.
like
And then, yeah.
400,
Yeah.
400
cups of
cups
tea.
of tea out of
but
that
10 at a
cake,
time
right?
because you would never save the leaves.
Yeah.
So you can run
Right.
you can run a
Tomorrow or
cafe.
something.
I will. I'll drink leaves the next day. If I start a session and I only get like 4 infusions in, I'll
You'll
drink it in the
use
morning.
yeah.
I know people that do that. It's not going to be as good as it will if you do it all at once. But,
Do you leave the
but
leaves?
certainly, and people will drink
Like
it all
out
day
to
long.
dry, you just like let them dry?
Or do you just keep them in the...
Keep 'em in
Oh,
the-
I would
The
keep them
vessel,
covered.
right?
I would keep them covered. You
okay.
want to
Yeah.
try to keep, you wouldn't
So they
wouldn't
don't
want them to
lose
dry
the
out, right?
moisture.
Oh, okay.
All the way. Yeah, I would keep them covered overnight.
So how will I
And
know?
people, you could all day long too. If you start in the morning, you could just
And
that
just,
could be
like,
your
drink
tea and just keep
all day.
infusing it all
Covered,
day
but
long.
like just damp. I would like. You're not saying keep it covered like.
In water.
In
No,
yeah,
just
'cause then
like
you would
damp.
just infuse.
no, yeah,
out.
just
Okay.
like this. Like I finished the infusion,
Just
I
like-
pour all the water out,
just-
And you just cover it. Okay.
and just wait until you want to use it again. So,
Oh, you can smell. Now the smell is different. You think it's different?
still a nice
Like kind of
golden
smokier now.
soup color.
the lemony, the citrusy
It's go-
faded a little bit.
It has
Yeah.
faded.
Yeah.
It's definitely got a mouthfeel now.
Yeah, my tongue is like.
It has like a
tingly
little,
almost.
yeah,
Not in like a it's gonna fall asleep kind of way, but in like a
excited way.
excitement. My tongue is excited.
Mm-hmm.
This you can really start to feel it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I think it's transitioned from the reminiscent of a green tea to reminiscent of a black tea.
Really,
Yeah. Personally.
Well, right. The
the
first
bitterness is
infusion
not
at the
a
very
black tea
end.
bitterness. Though.
No,
Not
no,
like
but I think it's gone away from more of that, like you were
Vegetal
saying,
thing.
the vegetal thing, and I think
you
it's
think it's
gone
richer
more.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, certainly the flavors are melding more.
The bitterness is hugging my tongue now. Yeah.
And it is like it's whatever that mouthfeel is
Mm-hmm.
with like Italian wine or something, where it's like your mouth is like kind of a little dry
A little bit, yeah.
at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and that's different from the last cup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would be the equivalent of cheese in this scenario?
The equivalent of what?
Cheese.
This is
Cheese.
This
So,
is
you know, you do an Italian wine with cheese, what would you do this with?
I like pairing. I have to think about it. I'm usually bad at saying what something tastes like, but I could be like, you should eat
What
this.
you should eat it with?
Well,
Fish?
if we're on the concept of pairing things
Licorice.
with tea, for a real tea experience, if you really want to taste the tea, food will ruin tea.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's very hard to eat and then also taste your tea and enjoy
Just because of the complexity of the flavor? No?
What about
Because-
something flavorless that gives me some texture and
it. Yeah, I
Figures
could
out
see
my
that.
mouth.
You know, something like a
And-
bland popcorn or cracker or something more like that.
yeah.
I
But,
could
like,
see that.
what would they traditionally eat with this? Or they wouldn't?
Yeah, with pu'er, I don't know. I think pu'er is really
Like, of its own?
in Japan they'll serve sweets with teas.
Right.
And that's to
That's
kind of
interesting.
counteract that. The bitterness in green tea really gets to my stomach sometimes, so that's
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
really to alleviate those kind of things. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything traditional that's eaten with pu'er. I don't know.
We could look at
Oh,
I can't imagine eating something with it. I don't know what would.
I don't know. I was just curious. Like, if I'm thinking about like, so you know, I'll be doing this over the day. Like, you know, what would I be eating?
I don't want something salty right now.
Right. No, I don't. I don't want anything heavy.
And I actually don't want something sweet because
Yeah.
I'm already tasting water as sweet, so I don't even know. Like you'd have
Puppy.
Ooh. You'd have to have
Ruined
like.
it.
It's okay.
He just sees another dog out there.
Oh yeah.
Puppy.
he's just jealous he doesn't have any tea.
Beat up the golden retriever.
He was sniffing the tea earlier. He was like,
Can you smell the tea, Helen? Can you smell the tea? It smells
But
good.
yeah, I think if you had something sweet, it would have to be like a foreign dessert. because
Nothing
in the U.S.
It's so sweet. Yeah, no.
It would be too sweet. It would
For
be
sure.
even sweeter.
Scott, I have a question before we take this infusion. Do you have expectations for each infusion?
No.
No?
It's
No.
just all different.
Yeah.
I don't. I've never really. My life has been so busy lately, I've never really sat there and written out like intense tasting notes for a tea. I've used tea really to just kind of calm down and relax.
I also think it could be a personal thing. Like, to each person's taste, you would experience something very,
yeah.
very
Everything, of
different.
course,
Sure.
Yeah.
of course.
Oh, what I was gonna say before was like, you know, if I'm cooking dinner, I love spicy food, but like for sure, if I make something spicy and he just made tea, it's like, well, why did I even make this tea? Because you definitely can't.
You can't combine the two.
It's just like
You won't want to.
easily overwhelmed if you're
I could see that.
tasting something else that's really.
Yeah.
When you just, I mean, like the tea causes so many different things to happen on your tongue. Just, you know, when you kind of just start contaminating that experience. There's so much going on.
Yep.
Right.
It demands you to focus on what you're doing. You know?
Which I think
Yeah.
could be a really, like, good thing. I mean,
Yep.
definitely need to, like, take some time away from all the
Yeah.
distraction, you know?
Yeah.
And this is a way to do it, is just to, like, focus on that.
We're gonna run
It's like mindful eating. We're doing mindful teaing.
Yeah.
For real.
Have you ever done a Zen tea ceremony, Scott? Like a,
I think that's your daily,
you know?
right?
Yeah, I mean, I do. This is very similar to what I would do at night, many nights.
When I went to Singapore for the first time, I went to like their Chinatown, and they have like a tea ceremony thing that they have there, and it was like Queen Elizabeth or whatever had been there like 50 years ago or whatever. And then they taught us how to hold teacups and do the whole thing, and then we met up with a guy who's from China, and I showed him. I was like, you know, this is how they told me to hold my
he's like,
teacup. He's like, everyone holds their teacup differently in society, so
Yep.
you're holding your teacup like a really important man. I was like,
How
okay,
else?
great.
How else? I was always
Just what I was going for.
I was always told to do like this.
yeah, I
but,
guess
like,
that's like the. I think of that more
that-
British. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But you know,
Pinky out.
no, with like at the bottom. But I don't know. Like
I don't know either.
a very important man.
I was like, okay, dude.
Whoops.
But it's all. I mean, it's a cut. I put a finger under it on the sides because you don't want. There's no handle.
Yeah.
You don't want it
no,
to
I
be
just,
too
like,
hot in your hands.
I don't know.
Where's the toddler?
She's scared though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We skipped ahead. This is our 10th infusion. I hope the video didn't jump around too much. But we all had a great session here. I didn't want to make the video too long. We wanted to keep it manageable. We could do lots more of this in the future. I want to thank everybody for coming. Vicky, Mike, and Danielle. They know your names. The world knows your names now.
Yay.
We'll give you some reactions on this 10th infusion, and then I have something for you guys as well. For coming today.
Oh boy.
Here you go. Last sip.
Hopefully, this is kind of like a launch party too. I will be. This won't be my final product labels or anything, but
Sample.
Beautiful.
just some samples. These are my first like real packages, and I'll be launching my website like tomorrow. I'm planning.
Yay.
I'm doing it, so
Launching tomorrow.
Ooh, it smells good. It's almost not like a vanilla.
So we
it's
would-
white tea.
oh.
It'll be our Jing Mai White Beauty.
It'll be
Nice.
It's a Baimudan, so it's a larger leaf white tea, a little more complex, a little sweeter.
I can add
really
it to my
good.
collection.
Should,
That I buy all
this,
from
should this
Scott.
be should I kettle it or could I cold brew it?
You do
Or
both.
Both.
Yeah, makes great cold brew. But it's delicious hot too. So
Ooh, this is
It smells. Yeah.
yeah. This is
10th
is great.
infusion's still enjoyable. Look at
Yeah,
that.
I really like it.
Everybody's
Yeah.
loving it. Yeah. Awesome.
the spices are different. It's good.
It's good. It's like milder now. It like went up, and it was like more intense, and now it's kind of like mellow.
It did go back to the first infusion thing of like the beginning taste. It's not
The
super, and
mellow,
then
yeah.
it doesn't hit you hard anymore, but it still like grows at you.
And how's everybody feeling? How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Good.
Feel really good.
I'm feeling
Yeah.
great. That was
As
a
am
bitterness
I.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, farewell, everybody out there. Thanks for joining us. This time on Virtual Tea Cafe.